watch the sheep grazing out over the hills on a patchwork of yellow and green. Saw the barns and the byres, the homesteads and farms, the miles of stone wall in between. From the valleys they reach to the skyline, from the mountains run down to the sea. And I wondered who'd given a lifetime of labour and what kind of men they'd been. These men with a will to move mountains, these men made of frail flesh and bone, who fashioned cathedrals and bridges and fountains from the cold and the unyielding stone, with granite for stable foundations, with marble from faraway lands, and know-how passed down from all ages and nations to men with a skill in their hands. Funny little creatures, we scamper on the earth, made up of self-importance, convinced of our self-worth. We really think we're something smart and smooth and slick, while the evidence is pointing to us being a bit thick. When you can build a peace machine, and one that turns the deserts green, banish pain and poverty forever. When you restock the lakes and seas, fill the forests full of trees, come back then and tell me that we're clever. I know our men of science believe they're doing good, they just don't get the 'cause you can don't always mean you should. To me they're more like children building castles on a beach, where the things we really need are drifting farther out to reach. When you can build a peace machine, or one that turns the deserts green, banish pain and poverty forever. When you restock the lakes and seas, fill the forests full of trees, come back then and tell me that we're clever.
The back of winter is broken, whose light lingers long by the door. The seeds of summer have spoken in gowans that bloom on the shore. By night and day we'll sport and we'll play and delight, as the dawn dances over the bay. Sleep blows breath of the morning away, and we follow the heaven home.
She sits within the room where her memories are speaking, those paintings and those photographs showing her the world, where people and where places gave to her those stories, those little drops of living that those memories recall. The world beyond her door, it may call for her attention, but that can wait till conversations inside is complete. For she sits within that room, those memories are speaking, the little drops of living that a loving lark recalls. And though her photos fade to darkness and flowers fade and wither, the rust and rot may eat those things that live within her walls. She sits within that room where those memories are speaking, the little drops of living that her loving heart recalls.
Last summer I went swimming, last summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. Last summer I swam in the ocean and I swam in a swimming pool. Salt in my wound, chlorine in my eyes, I'm a self-destructive fool. A self-destructive fool. Last summer I went swimming, last summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. Last summer I did swan dives and jackknives for you all, and once when you weren't looking I did a cannonball. I did a cannonball. Last summer I went swimming, last summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. Last summer I went swimming, last summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around.
I stamped on board a railroad car beneath the morning sun. I rode the rods till evening, I lay me down again. All strangers, they're no friends to me, till a dark girl towards me came, and I fell in love with a Creole girl by the lakes of the Pontchartrain. So fare thee well, my Creole lass, I never may see you more. I'll ne'er forget your kindness and the cottage by the shore, and at each social gathering a flowing glass I'll drain. I'll drink a health to my Creole girl and the lakes of the Pontchartrain. I'll drink a health to my Creole girl and the lakes of the Pontchartrain. When God made creation, the seas had crustaceans, the dry land had forests and woods, and very soon mammals, like osses and camels, came issuing forth from the primeval mud. And when it was right, he said, let there be light, and there was, 'cause he'd left out to look. And the first thing he sees when he looks down is me. In his angelic voice he went, yuck. It's Aardvark being an Aardvark. It's a lot harder than you might think. And all day on your pins, you're trying to convince a hard, uncaring world you're not really extinct. No one says, oh look, that's an Aardvark, like they might do a camel or cat. They just give us a kick or a poke with a stick, and they say, what the hell do you call that? Now our ask a giraffe, and he'll say, it's no laugh, being 20 feet high is a bind. I can see all the trees with the greatest of ease, but I can't get to scratch me own. Well, never mind, and he'll stamp and say, it's a pain in the neck, and I wouldn't say he was wrong. Wouldn't you be self-righteous if you got tonsillitis when your tonsils were 10'6" long? But it's aardvark, being an aardvark, it's a lot harder than you might think. And all day on your pins, you're trying to convince a hard, uncaring will you're not really extinct. No one says, oh bless, it's an aardvark, like they might do a camel or cat. They just give us a kick or a poke with a stick, and they say, what the hell do you call that? Now take the hyena, 'cause he must have been at the back when they give the brains out, and he'll giggle all day in that lunatic way. He hasn't a clue what he's laughing about. There was one got a shock when he fell in the wok of a Chinese cafe in Bangkok. The chef being no ass, he just turned up the gas, and he made a complete laughing stock. 'Cause it's aardvark, being an aardvark, it's a lot harder than you might think. And all day on your knees, you're trying to convince a hard, uncaring world you're not really extinct. No one says, oh, that's an aardvark, like they might do a camel or cat. They just give us a kick or a poke with a stick, and they say, what the hell do you call that? They just give us a kick or a poke with a stick, and they say, what the hell do you call that? One says, oh, that's an aardvark, like they might do a camel or cat. They just give us a kick or a poke with a stick, and they say, what the hell do you call that? They just give us a kick or a poke with a stick, and they say, what the hell do you call that?